Hey Shane, great post. I really enjoyed it. Um, I also concur with Dr. Dumont in stating, labeling a person that we're actually not trying to harm them, we're trying to help them. I immediately thought of when she was speaking in that manner of like when you go to the doctor's office. When you go to the doctor's office, you tell them all of your symptoms, not necessarily thinking that, oh, they're going to cure me, everything's going to go well, but you do get this sense of relief once either they have run a bunch of tests to rule out what the item might be that's making you sick, and or they are diagnosed you with whatever that item may be, because that, as the saying goes, the first step to recovery is admission. So if you know what the problem is, if you can put a name to it, then that way you can start the recovery process. You can start the system of change. So I do agree with you that we are not there to label people. We are actually trying to help them and equip them so that they can deal with the illness. In our reading, it definitely talked about that was one of the first steps of diagnosis or assessment. My apologies, was to find out the problem, like go to the source. So I agree with that as well. I also read something, or the scripture that I had in mind was, of course, Matthew 7:12. Do unto others whatever you would like for them to do unto you. If we could only treat people like we want to be treated, it's so much easier to say, but not necessarily to implement, because I myself have had issues, or I myself find biases or prejudices or discrimination when it comes to certain things. Specifically, one of my recent experiences with discrimination was when I had COVID. My daughter and I had COVID, and we went to our doctor's office to see them. Now, I had done the pre-screening prior to us arriving. I had called and left a message to let them know that we were experiencing symptoms, but yet when we arrived at the office, we were immediately turned away. They told us not to step in the office, in fact, to go back outside, that they could not see us, and they redirected us to the urgent care. And I had not experienced, even as an African American, that level of discrimination where I was shunned in such a way that I was asked to leave somewhere. So I do think, as far as Christian views and Christianity, that no, we cannot force Christianity or our beliefs onto a client or someone we're working with. We can only offer Christ to them. And so based on where we're working, who we're working with, we have to understand that autonomy of that particular client, and utilizing our Christian views, we have to respect that, and respect them in that same right. Thank you again for your post. Have a great night.